Welcome to part, I think it's 12, I don't know, 13 maybe, on the XL250 restoration. The XC one is, the next one's part 34, the MG one I think is part 4, I think. I always lose track. So I'm going to put this part here. There it is. So in this one we clean up the engine, give it a paint job, put some bits back on the bike, like that, and I hope you enjoy. I've been sick. I had most of the footage of this was a week ago. My son, I did a little bit last night. My son had a Halloween party for his 18th, and that was Saturday night. So I just snuck out and did a bit of this, and then went back in and to see how everything was going. So my wife and eldest daughter was in there, so that was all good. So anyway, look, that's beside the point. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so I got this piece of chipboard. It's actually flooring with carpet stapled behind it there just to protect our nice new bench. Now, I'm going to put some bits and pieces on here. One of them is a piece of cardboard, a side cover, and I've removed the magnetic, it looks like it, I think it's part of the advanced mechanism for the CDI on the XL, and a bunch of stuff fell out of the donk. It's this Kickstarter stuff. It's a thrust washer and some spring, and I think that's to do actually with the decompression lever. I'll figure that out later, but the reason I've got this here is I need to clean it up. There's all sorts of bits of gasket there. The wiring loom that came out from the advanced mechanism was painted black, or silver, sorry, so I need to get rid of that because that looks pretty rubbish, and also just get rid of any snot that's in the corner there. We're not going to paint the edge with a dipstick in it, so they can come out too. Look how low the oil level normally is. It normally just sits down there. So that can come out. We don't want to paint that. So I'm not going to go into a terrific amount of detail with this because I did it with the 750 engine. But one thing that is easy to see is these seals come out very, very easily. Hang on a sec, the phone's ringing. Same good with this thing. We'll just take these coils off. Hopefully this all comes off as one. I'm a bit nervous about taking this off. Should I not take it, I wonder? Just see what it looks like when we start pulling it apart. I've got that one there. I'm just a bit nervous about it. I'll put this somewhere safe. More of the same. Again, that seal looks to be easily removed. And the neutral switch, I hope I'm doing the right thing. It just pulls out too. That's cool. Another thing is we're not painting these. These are inspection plugs for timing and that sort of stuff. I think what we'll do with these is we'll take them to work and give them a nice buff on the wheel and paint that, if you know what I mean, so they can stay off. And again, we'll paint the engine with that seal in. Just got to give it a clean up, but it's looking pretty messy. But we are getting there. We're getting closer. Now, one of the problems I'm having, it's got a break. The old one's got a break here. I think that cover covers that. I'm not sure. I've got to get it out and have a look. This one seems to be broken slightly worse. Which is worse? Oh no, this one's slightly better. Alright, so we'll go with this one. I think that hole there at the top is where this sprocket cover mounts. I'm not totally sure. We have to continue cleaning this stuff up. This hasn't been cleaned up yet. I've taken the pickup out of it. So I've got to go and clean this before we can paint anything. Still cleaning. Cleaning and more cleaning. This is the sprocket cover of the old donut, which is no good because it's got a big break in it. I'm just trying to reach around the camera. Hang on a sec. That's not going to cut it. So it sits like that. We've got a big chunk out of there. I'm still worried about this piece here. I think the best thing to do is find another cover. That being said, I think that whole piece there, that would have been a chain that thrashed out and broke that pit off. It's not going to cause any damage because it's still sealing behind there, but it's just really unsightly. I dare say that would have been replaced at some stage. Not sure. But that's a good one. But this isn't. Having said that, I'm still going to clean it all up and use it as masking on the engine to paint it. Still got to do a lot of cleaning up actually. But I think it would be prudent to try and find a better one. It's just unfortunate that we've only got 2 broken ones. So I'm not really sure. If I can find one, I'll get one, but chances are if I've got 2 broken ones, broken ones are going to prevail more than good ones. Not sure. Anyway, look, I'll go ahead and clean it up. Having some issue finding the gasket for behind here. I might make one. Right, so I've cleaned this up very, very well. I haven't really cleaned it up properly at all. It's still got gunk and muck in there, but I'm talking about this part here. I've rounded that off. I've taken all those sharp bits off there, which it's still better than the other one because the other one's broken out through this hole, which means it's not supported there. The problem is, though, this isn't really any better than it was. If we can get the both of them. There we go. Stick that under the engine case. I've taken the dowels out. So I think what we're going to need to do is not supported there at the top. I think that's asking for it to break again. I need to see an original one because I'm assuming they go right to that edge. Of course, for the purpose of cleaning, I've taken out these locating dowels so we can just drop it into place. It just makes, when you're sort of pulling them up and putting them back together, it just makes it so much easier. And I'll just stick a couple of bolts in. Just 2 of them will do the trick. Okay, parts, and I cannot remember what I've said and what I haven't said. Started making these for the headlight. These, because what we had before was we had bolts going into the headlight shell that were rattling around and it was rubbish. So I made this small one, which is cool. A bit long though. I can machine that down, but I decided I wanted something a bit broader. If I can get this out. Hang on a sec. Oh, and then I made this one, which is too short. So we've got a nice broad one, but it's too short in there. So I ended up making 2 the right size, which will sit in here. They're exactly right there, which is cool. That one goes on that side. So now I can get some nice stainless domed nuts or whatever, and that's going to hold that. I've done these to 8mm. That's 5/16. It's minusculely smaller, but it'll keep the headlights still, which is what we're after. A couple of failed attempts, but you know what? They're all just made out of a scrap of rubbish that I found in a bin, and so they will serve their purpose well. Now, these are the old seals, and they're painted silver. These didn't leak, oddly enough, but you know what? The oil level in the crankcase is very, very low, so they're just holding out a bit of splash. That's all they're doing. Bought this one. Nothing fits. The only one does, and that's the Kickstarter one. There are 7 seals in there, 6 of which are no good, so I will return them, and I've gone to bearing wholesalers in Bayswater and bought all the right ones that I need for the decompressor and the clutch and all that sort of stuff there. So we've got the seals, so once we've painted the engine, we can put those in. The piston kit rocked up, and it comes in a box, obviously. They don't blister pack pistons. And, come on, rings obviously, and circlips, and a wrist pin or gudgeon pin, and there's our little piston. And I've actually stuck it right down on the bench on a level surface, right up next to the other. And it's so level that all the rings fit in, like they just slide across and in. So I know the ring height is the same anyway. The compression height, putting a level across the top, is spot on, and there's no room under each one. So I'm pretty sure that these are going to be good. The only thing I haven't checked is the wrist pin height, but you know, at the end of the day, you'd be pretty unlucky. But I will check that all the same, you know, before I put the piston in. I've just seen with aftermarket pistons a few horror stories where people put them in and they've knocked. So I've got my cylinder barrel here, so I can hone that, put all that in. What else is there? Another blowfly, great. Top gasket kit, did I show you that? I've taken the valve stem seals out and given them to Speedworks in Ringwood, who do all my engine reconditioning work. David sent it down there. Fork seals, so we can do the forks. They're the right size, I know that. And what else have I got? Zippo. I don't think I have anything else at the moment to show you. Okay, so I want to start painting this. You can see here, it's all sort of worn off. The paint's worn off. It's scratched. It's been gouged and all this sort of stuff. So we're going to smooth that out. Having said that, this paint is stable. It's not scratching. It's not peeling or anything like that. We just want to smooth the transition out, because if we paint over that, we're going to see it. So I've just got a bit of two different grits here, 400 and 240. This is just a bit of 400, and we can literally sand that off, and it'll get rid of any highs. It'll get rid of any sort of defective paint, flaky paint, that sort of thing, and give it a really, really nice surface in which the etch can stick to. You can see that line there has been etch primed underneath. We can take all the paint off, but I don't think it's all that necessary. So I'll just go round. For really stubborn stuff, we can, you can see it there, beautiful and smooth. It's very, very easy to do this. For the really stubborn stuff, if there's big gouges and scrapes and whatnot, we can use, like in there for example, we can use some 400 and finish off with 240. But we probably don't even need to. Yeah, that is a bit deeper, that one. So I'm going to go round, and this will give it a nice surface for the etch primer to bite into. Etch primer is phosphoric acid, and I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to paint around where the engine number is. I'll clean that off. We'll just put a bit of clear over that, because the paint is reasonably thick, and so we'll likely cover it up a little bit. Won't cover it up completely, but it'll just make it a little bit harder to read. We use Scotch-Brite to polish out where the number is, and it looks brilliant. You can read it clear as a bell, and of course we'll just lay the tape over and just cut around it. This had a gouge there. I've knocked it back with 240. It's going to have a little dimple there, but it doesn't matter. I think we're probably going to end up changing this cover out anyway. So, but this all feels pretty good. Even there, it looks rough, but it's it is pretty good. That's all smooth. I'm pretty happy with the top, even though it's still got old paint in places. Doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's all stable. One thing I'm having trouble with is the carpet I'm standing on for a start. Is in here where the chain has thrashed it. I've been in there with some rough stuff, and you can see it's just cutting so badly. The other thing I'm having trouble getting, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, and I haven't put much effort into it, I must say. Is that grot in there? Yes, it is this seal. This sits very high in the case. You know, your oil level, if you think about it, is down here. So it only gets splash on it. It's very easy to get to in the bike. I think what I'll do is I'll clean it up. There's no evidence that ever leaked before. I'll clean it and tape it, paint, and I'll leave it. That can be dug out very easily. The seals on this have been extremely easy to get out. Just seeing this. It's where it's previously been painted. They've painted over dirt. That is awful. And I've done that before too by accident. I did it to a tiny bit underneath the 750 one. The only way to really do this, if you want to restore them properly, is to split the cases, absolutely gut them, and then send them off to be hydro-blasted, and then you get back what a brand new looking cases. But for this, we're not doing it, and we did it on the 750. We split them, but we didn't hydro-blast them. Hindsight probably should, but I'm over-capitalising on that thing huge. So if it was a Sandcast or whatever, yes, of course, but mine's a K7, K8 I should say. It just isn't worth spending that sort of money on. You've got to look at it economically too, to sort of ascertain what the finished value of the thing's going to be worth, next to what you spend. Right, well, we're almost ready to give it a paint job. Believe it or not, it is clean. I've scotch brighted and all that sort of stuff. I've just got to give it a bit of prep wash. In the meantime, I'm just going to whack a bit of tape around here, and I've got the top folded over. This bit isn't clean, it's still a bit oily. And I can just put that there and get the seal, the old seal, and use that as masking. And that way when we paint it, it doesn't get into the sort of inside area there. That's where the sun plug goes. And it just adds to a better overall finish. Of course, we can just, with things like this, I don't want any paint whatsoever in there. I'm just going to literally stuff tape in, get the old seal, and just put it in there. And then I can just sort of yank it up very easily with a screw stick, and it'll all be nice and fresh in there. So I don't want paint where the seals are going or anything like that. Some of the smaller gaps, things like this, yeah, don't worry about that. A bit of paint might get around the outside of it. Maybe a bung in there. I don't even think that's going to be that important. Just give it a bit of an etch over all the bare metal areas, which is most of the engine. There's sort of bits and pieces here and there, particularly on the alloy cases. A few scratches there too. Too wrapped in now. You can see I've got in the sun, not great doing it this way. But I'm out in the backyard and there's more dog poo. I just want to get around with a chain thrust, make sure we get some good coverage. I'm going to be redoing some of this, I've just seen that. A few scratches, you can see those scratches here, which doesn't look too great. I think the colour will probably blend a lot of that out, or at least hide some of it. Cool. Oops, missed a bit. Wonderful. Oh, I've got visitors. Dave and Alex.
Come to check on the progress.
Yeah, well, don't look too hard because I'll muck the engine up.
It's looking fantastic. That motor's painted.
Well, you're not happy with it, Dave?
No, it's fantastic. I'm really happy with it.
Why?
Because.
No, I think it's good.
Come in, have a look.
I'm in.
Come in.
Oh yeah? Really?
That's fucking insane, I reckon.
This is Dave and his bike. Hello.
Hello.
I saw a photo of Dave that Al took yesterday.
Yeah.
Should we put it on?
Yeah.
No.
Are you
No.
gonna... I think this is a bit rough. I kind of was hoping you could tape this up.
Yeah, no.
You know,
I'm not taping it.
No, I
That's
suppose.
the 60s rainbow. So,
Yep.
yeah.
You vote yes?
Yeah, that just looks fantastic.
Oh, the backpacker killer.
Yeah.
What with the rego plates?
Yeah.
I didn't kill anyone though.
You've got him hidden away.
Look at
Alan,
Yeah.
Alan, you seen all this stuff?
I did notice that.
Hey?
Oh,
It's round.
There's some fancy stuff in here.
That's mine.
oh, that's your one.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Wait a second. Yeah, that's mine. That's the 750 one, the engine over there. That one that I've neglected and forgotten about. So it's just all a big mess, really.
Oh, mwah, 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 you beautiful baby.
I put mine in the bed but didn't say anything about it. I didn't actually.
Yeah, well, don't put mine in your bed. She's all mine, mine all mine. Get your hands off her.
Get a bit of cock action happening. Right, well, they've gone. Dave is very happy, but I'm not. There's a few marks in the cast, and we can't really do anything about that. That's not important. But the covers aren't very good, so I'm going to redo the covers, but I can do them off the engine, if you know what I mean. They're as masking. Things like this. I think I had crap in the paint, or I didn't clean the gun properly or something. But, I mean, they're alright, but they're just not really there, if you know what I mean. So, I might pop the covers off and redo them. I'll let them go off a bit more. Even though it's an enamel-based paint, you can use you can wet sand with a bit of 1200 or something just to iron out this stuff, and it won't drag in it. I'll just remask that. I sort of took that off when Dave was here, and I'll redo the covers because I actually forgot to do the sprocket cover here. So we can take off. Where's my screwdriver? We can take off masking around here. And that should look nice. Well, as nice as it can be, because it is the old seal. I can't find another seal. But it didn't leak, and push comes to shove, you can do it in the bike. It's not a hard thing to do. So this is like Christmas time. Everyone says that when they take masking off. It's just left a bit of sticky residue on the rubber, so I can clean that off with a bit of Prepsol. And it will look fairly good. There you come back. I've just got the engine sitting on. See that residue there? That'll all come off. That'll look good. That's fine. I'm not worried about that. And of course I took it off the engine number, if you can see that there. When this all hardens off, I'll put a bit of clear on there, just in that little spot, just so that it doesn't oxidise and it always looks fresh. Because you can sort of see through. I did that with the XC's body number. I'll leave that there. That's just the breather. I'll leave that there till we're ready to, what do you call it? Till we're ready to connect the tube when it's on the bike. So a bit disappointed really at the end of the day, but when you get something like this with imperfections and scratches in the castings, you can sand those right out. But I don't want to weaken it. I don't think it would have weakened it too much, but I didn't really want to thin anything out too much, if you know what I mean, because some of them you have to sand really deeply into it, and being on a corner, particularly on the other side where the clutch is, it's braced on the inside, but it might just take a bit of integrity out of the case. And I think once all the bling's on it, and these are all sort of polished up and put into place, I think it'll look good anyway. The other thing we're doing, of course, just roughing in where the wiring's going. You can see there's still a bit of gunk on there. We can get that off, just replace the tape, I suppose. Any of the exposed earths that look a bit mangy, I can always sort of solder in new conductors so it all looks nice and new once it's been wrapped. Of course, we've got the bracket that goes here for the coil, flasher cone and so forth. That I've actually had plated, so that way it'll offer a better sort of earth contact, if you know what I mean. I'll tap out those threads and so forth. So there's your regulator rectifier that goes up there. So these will all go, I think it sort of fits underneath there on the inside. So that'll all look good. I just want to sort of see roughly where everything goes. And once we've got the engine block in, which we can put in as soon as it sort of hardens up a bit, then I can sort of see where everything fits. Anyway, so we've got the fasteners. We've changed these fasteners over for the plated ones. I'm going to flick the thing over now and do the other side, do the bottom. I just painted this thing yesterday, and I sat it on a bit of plastic just to prevent any damage to the paint. What? It always does that. Hang on a sec. Okay, so we've got these four main ones. These are crankshaft main bearing bolts here. Two of them are in, but they've been painted, so they can be taken out. They're new ones. I can take them out and redo them. Got nice long ones for the back here. And basically all we're doing, I'm going to try and do this in the camera, is get a bit of anti-seize, because we've got two different metals, and we want to stop the chance of, I'm all dirty, these things oxidizing, if you know what I mean. Hang on, I need a rag. Okay, and then underneath, in this part here, I'm going to use good old trusty Honda Bond. Just get a little bit on our finger and then rotate that around. Now, I'm going to do this with all of them, and the reason for that is because it will be essentially slippery, so it'll torque down nicely, And the other reason is these will go sort of internally into the engine, but when I go to do these front ones, they don't go into the engine, but still it'll provide some slip for them, so that at least then the shoulder of the bolt won't hang onto the paint and chip it, you know what I mean? It'll create a bit of a sort of a slippery cushion. So we'll just put these two in. And anti-seize probably isn't all that necessary, but I do it because we've got, as I said, two different metals, and I've seen a lot of fasteners out of the bikes I've pulled apart. There's only been a couple of them, but well, anything really that has different metals together, the chance of moisture in there can bring on oxidization and all sorts of things. So that's the reason I'm using it, to stop any galling and that sort of thing. I'm just going to sort of nip these up by hand, and then I'll pop these ones out here. It's truth. Actually, maybe these are the original ones. They are tight. No, that wasn't one of the ones I had plated. That's an original one. How long was that? That looks a bit too short. It is. Oh well. We'll put the right length ones in because I wrote them down before I pulled them apart. Having a look to make sure I'm on 18 because I can't see. Perfect. Right. Cool. Very good. Very, very good. I used to have this Indonesian teacher when I was in Form 1 or grade Year 7. Everything was bagus. Ah, bagus. He used to say, always said bagus, which is apparently Indonesian for very good. Bagus. That's the one in the center. So I'm just going to put, these are going to be tricky. Yeah. Yeah, right there. This can become so messy doing this because if you track your fingers into the Honda Bond and whatnot, you've got the task of getting it off. Zip these up to 9 foot down. So I've already done it actually, I'm just doing this for the sake of video. I hate doing, whoa, did you see that? I hate doing these because I'm petrified, there you come back. I'm petrified of them breaking, particularly after plating. And I had these heated up, sort of cooked after they were, what do you call them? Plated to retain some strength. But these particularly, if you break them inside, you're pulling the whole engine apart, separating cases, drilling, it is a nightmare. Whole world of hurt, so we don't want to go down that road. I'm just going to lift your arm, move that plastic. You what, the phone will ring while I'm doing this, that's always what happens. And it's my mother. She's not that well at the moment. There we go. Right, so I suppose the next thing is to put it in. I think we'll lift this bike down and I'll take that foot peg off and flick the thing around. Anyway, we'll just move it now. Way to grab it. Yeah, is that right? Yep. It's actually not very heavy. But I'll need to take that that splash guard off. Now which way do I want this? I want it the other way. Like that. I reckon I'm running the gauntlet doing it this way, but look, if it all looks like it's going to be too dangerous, I'll get him over. That looked really skilled, it wasn't. Right. I think that's down, then I might move that onto the chair. Oops. I'm going to scratch everything up. And turn him around and lift him aboard. What do you think? Not worth the risk? We'll see how it goes, eh? Not holding my breath for any great success, but here we go. Right. I'm trying to feed it like that. See what it looks like. Bolt down there, bolt up there. Can't be that hard. That's miles out. Oh, I see where you go. Oh, I do see. Wonderful. Well, I'm hitting my claw. Hey, that's not good. Did someone call me?
Dad,
What?
I have 12 donuts in my bag
12 donuts.
that I rolled. Got. Yeah.
Rosie, I'm too fat. Here, can you come here? I need you to pass me a bolt. 12 donuts? What the hell are we going to do with 12 donuts?
Yeah, because you need it. Oh, I'm so hot and sweaty.
Rosie, the camera's on.
Oh, hi.
Hang on a sec. Let me just put this screwdriver in here.
I think I can make a bottle of water.
Okay. Rosie, come over here with you.
Yeah, I am.
Leave the donuts. I don't care about donuts.
Oh, I do.
Okay. Rosie, pull that up just like that.
Oh, I put on like that?
Yup, just like that. And that way I can get a screw stick in. Has that gone through the other side? Yes, it has. Oh, okay, let it go.
I'm not the
Shut up,
only
lady.
one sweating.
Can you shut that cat up?
Lady! Shh.
I think that's going to work. Bastard. Maybe I should have left it. What do you think? It just looks more, I don't know, finished up, I guess, if everything's sort of cool. You know what I mean. That could all be tightened up later, I don't give a rat's about that. I just wanted to work out this front bit. So we'll take these towels off. There we go. Beautiful. Let's go around the front, hey? We've got this little guy here, which goes... Actually, I'm just going to get these ones through first. And they use an 8mm. Maybe... I'll face them all one way. That way if Dave's fussy, he can say, that looks good. Now, the other thing I've noticed is that the lower ones are a 10mm metric with a shouldered nut, but they don't use a washer on this side, which I reckon looks pox. So, I've only got the original washers. It's a bit sort of dented, but for now they're going to do. If I can figure out how the hell to get them in. Hang on. Oh, goodness me. This is the fun bit doing this. There we go, look at that. You just pop him in. And that is a shouldered nut. And then the bottom one, which is underneath the bike. So you tighten these up. And get that other one in, this one that goes underneath the engine, which is this mother sucker. See? Ooh, look at that. And then we can stick that in. Actually, this one might have to go in from this side. Ooh, shock horror. That's not going to be nice. It's not symmetrical. I'll lift it up, mate. There we go. No, we're not in all the way yet. There we are. Need a 14. Yeah, just scraps that other casing, which isn't a big deal because I'm going to repaint it. So that's it for this one. You can see the engine's in. Got the engine breather in. Just it's a pipe, basically. I also put this part of the rear guard on, the inside part. Now, this is important because you can see here, this is the cell. I shouldn't be touching this with my bare skin. This is the buggered engine pipe, and I'm going to have a go at fixing that. That's the media blasted engine pipe, of course. Someone's added to this, and it looks like they've sort of sneezed all over it. It's absolutely dreadful. That'll all get cut off and thrown out. but the engine pipe sort of comes around the frame into the cylinder head, and then and then I thought it sort of sneaks in behind there, I think, and then goes out there. I need to sort of mock it up and fit it, sort it out. But there is a very good muffler here, which will sort of go up the back, and the same sort of deal will come out. So I'll use it. This is really, really good, this thing. So I'll use the majority of pipe on this and just cut the engine pipe to the length I want it. So that's going to entail making patches. I'm going to have to be bloody skilled to do this, but I'm going to try. Right? I'm going to make a patch, cut that out, weld a new piece in, run it back, cut this off. I might see, yeah, because it's got a broken part of a bolt in there and it's got a bit of snot all over the top of it. I'm going to cut that off, cut this off, make new mounts for the shield, make it as good as we can. So we'll approach that later. We shouldn't be touching freshly sandblasted kit with bare skin either. That's a bit of a no-no. Anyway, look, I'll show you around the bike. You've seen all this stuff before. A little bit worried because I painted the headstock satin, and I think the best way to go with this is chrome bars, but we have one set of good bars which was all snotty and horrible, but they were dead straight, so I've had them blasted and coated, powder coated, so they're going to be black for now. They can be changed later if need be. I've got all this sort of kit on the front here, and it's all mounted up down there. These are going to come off. Can we focus? Where's my fingers? Here. They're going to be repainted. I'm not happy with that. It's got a few little bumps and stuff. I think the gun was dirty. I've also scratched in there, right there. I'm going to brush touch that. I'm not going to repaint the engine over it. There are rough bits on it, but that was beyond my control. I couldn't do much about that. So of course the pedals we can't put on now. We had them on here. I've taken them off because we need them off to get this off. Then of course we've got all the other stuff here for the clutch actuator and decompressor. And of course don't forget, these are the old seals that I've just used as masking. We have the new seals to go on as well. And I'm sort of looking around as I'm talking. I can't see them. Oh, there they are. Here. Isn't that nice? So, okay. With the block there, we can do the wiring, most of the wiring. Once this is on, we've got to put the pickup back in. It comes out through there, and of course there's another loom that, whoops, comes out through there. So then we can sort of see exactly where everything goes. Here's the battery box. We can run the wires down, the feeds down to the battery box, all this sort of stuff. So it's really, really, it's sort of a crucial step getting the block in. Now, I'm going to have to get Dave to come and help me, because when we pick this up to put the forks on, I haven't started doing the forks yet. It'll have to sort of live on the floor, I think, after that, until we get the wheels. And I've been dragging my feet with the wheels. I haven't even done the hubs yet, and I haven't got the spokes, and I haven't done anything much to Dave's disappointment. He's been sort of hanging to get them done, but I haven't done them yet. So anyway, not sure where this hook goes. I've turned that around on the bottom of the air box. I think it goes that way. You can't see my hands in the way. It looked bad both other ways. That's the sort of best spot for it, I think. So suck it and see with that one. Anyway, look, hope you've enjoyed this. Please take care of yourselves, drive safely, and I'll see you later. Isn't that nice? Anyway, see you later.